Hello, Chandler. This is Councilmember Christine Ellis. I'm here today with some amazing ladies that work for us here at the city. One thing we're going to be talking about today in this episode of Breaking Barrier is about trust and how do we establish that trust through communication. Trust and transparency at this city is at its core. That's what we do here in the city of Chandler. When you hear our voice through anything that we do and everything that we do, we want to instill that trust in you. And these ladies that are here with me today, that's what they do best in their departments. So we want them here with me at the table talking about that. In communication, we try to bridge what connect the local government, which is the city of Chandler, you out there who are listening to us, with what we do here in the city. It will always happen with your help because we can't really communicate if we don't bring you in to be part of that communication. We know the trust that you want from us has to come from us first. We respect what you want us to do here. And it's an important thing that when we communicate, that we know that we are hearing you and you are hearing us. So let's take all these things together right now and put it in the context of us sitting here in this safe space to talk to you about what we do here in Chandler in the area of communication. Good morning, ladies. Thank you so much for having me here on the show with you. This is my show, but I'm having you having me. That's what communication is about, right, this morning. So the first question I would like, I know it takes a little bit out of you guys to be on this set with me. You left your work to be here this morning. So quickly, if I could ask you to introduce yourself really quickly and tell our audience who you are, what you do in your department, so that they know I have experts sitting here today with me. Go ahead, please.
All right. Well, my name is Michelle MacLennan. Yes. I am the General Manager at Chandler Center for the Arts, and I oversee the strategic objectives, operations, and oversight of the Chandler Center for the Arts.
Thank you. And you're doing an amazing job, making it look easy. Look at you today.
Well, thanks.
Looking amazing.
Taking the team.
All right. And what about you, lady?
Thank you. My name is Dawn Lang, and I am the Deputy City Manager and Chief Financial Officer for the city. I've been here a little over 17 years.
Wow.
And just the last 3 years been in this role, but I truly enjoy it. I work with really great people in the city manager's office, and I manage various departments, including my own, which is over all the financial functions for the city.
Yes, every penny. We know where it is. I always tell people, if you need to know where the money is going, talk to the Miss Dawn. All right.
Yes, thank you.
And what about you?
Hello, my name is Niki Tapia. I'm the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer for the City of Chandler.
Amazing.
I have been with the city 25 years, and I grew up in Chandler and went through Chandler Unified School District. So
alumni.
Definitely love my city, love my community, and I love that the work that I do is about inclusion and celebrating the diversity of our community, both externally and both internally with our residents and employees.
That is amazing. So in every one of those areas that you worked, if there is no communication, if you don't create that safe space for communication, it's not going to happen. Correct. So my first question to you this morning is that you have created that safe space. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be successful at what you do for the residents here in Chandler and those that work under you. So tell me, can you provide an example of a time where you've received feedback from a resident and applied to an action? Or something that they wanted to see you do, and because of you listening to them intently, take that and turn it into an action.
Right.
Well, please, let's start with you.
Let's see. So we're in the feedback business.
Yes.
We have a manager on duty at every performance. So we always have someone soliciting feedback at all shows. But I can think of a specific example where I received a call from a patron, and they just were asking some direct questions about, I have some accessibility needs. Wow. How do I enter the building? What's the best way to get in, to get closest to the ticket office? Just kind of the basics of how do I access your facility?
Yes.
And we take those calls all the time, but what I usually do is I would go to the website and refer them, answer their questions and get the information most accurate from our website. But what it made me think is there's probably a better way to do this where we could take every patron who's coming to a show and give them a personal communication about what to expect when they come to the theater. So we created the What to Know Before You Go.
I love that.
And that takes every ticketed patron gets a communication that talks about the runtime of the show, what to expect for parking, potential road closures, what type of concession services are available, and just what to expect. And so it really helps bridge that access. And you know, a lot of times it can be intimidating to go somewhere where you haven't been before, or even when you have. So it's our goal to make this as simple as we can, because we know all this information. So making sure that we get that to each and every patron.
Yeah, walking into a place with 1,400 people can be
it can be a little overwhelming. So.
I always thought that was such a great touch, because when I get ticket, I get these emails telling me, you know, welcome, this is what to expect, where to park. So that came out of that.
It came out of patron feedback, absolutely.
Wow, this is amazing. So that we're going to go straight to you, Miss Niki, at this time with this question, because this was an access, right? And I know in your field, in your area, access is important to you because you use the word inclusion.
Right.
What does that look like?
Right.
If somebody really give you a feedback and then you use it.
Well, that's amazing. It shows that we're listening.
Yes, absolutely.
Because there's one thing to ask for feedback and not really implement it, or implement piecemeal. But to ask for feedback and to implement it really shows that we're walking the walk.
Yes.
And I think that that's important for our residents, because trust is long-term.
Yeah.
Trust is building. It's always building it. And when we have efforts like this, it shows that our residents can trust us.
I love it. I love it. Do you have a quick example for me?
I do.
Yes.
A couple of years ago, we did a inclusion assessment.
Yes.
And some of the feedback was that we do great on social media. I mean, if you're not following the Center for the Arts, the city Facebook, Instagram, all of these different communication channels, but that's an access point as well. Some people don't really follow social media.
Yeah.
And some of the feedback was they wanted us to go a little old school.
Wow.
So we went to some of our small businesses, some of our diverse businesses, and we asked if we could set up flyers that had city information. And so we're doing that. It's a pilot right now, but we've got about 20, 25 businesses. It's in Vietnamese, it's in Spanish, it's in English.
I love that.
And it's just basic communication on here's what's going on at the city, here's who we contact. And so we're trying this out, and if it works, we might expand to more businesses.
I love it. Always start small and then kind of take it to where it needs
Right,
to go.
and we think we put everything on social so people know, but maybe they don't.
As we go out and keep saying that Chandler is a city of innovation, we keep forgetting there's a lot of people that are not coming along with us with everything innovative. And so we have to also stay in pace with those that are not as fast as the others. What about you, Mr.?
Well, a great example is our budget process. The budget process is critical to get citizen feedback. Our residents and businesses, reaching out to them in different ways. Like you mentioned, from a technology standpoint, not everyone uses technology like we do. So through the years, we've really listened and had to change to make sure that people could access the survey in different ways. So we started a survey a while back, and it's really proved to be a good tool to get feedback at all different levels from our residents.
I love it.
And you know, throughout the year, departments are reaching out on different capital projects and different services, and we get that feedback. But it is a point in time when we're updating that budget every year. And some great examples we've had as of recent would be through the budget survey, we heard information about the need for additional girls softball space. And that's really what born the project in Tumbleweed Park to build all those softball fields. It started with that information coming in through the budget survey and all that feedback, and we have a beautiful facility today because residents spoke up on what they needed.
Love it.
And you know, mentioning just social media, we didn't used to do social media. So through the years, we've really had to change how we put out the budget survey, what languages it's put out in, all of that. And so it's really become a great tool for us. And our budget really reflects what our residents and businesses want in the city. So it's an important part of the process.
Love that. I love the way that you explain it so that everybody can understand that they have a part in everything that you guys are doing
Yes.
here into the city. When I first came with the budget, I remember bike lane was the thing, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wanted bike lane.
Yeah.
We went and we started working on those and adding more of them for the city. And then now you're talking about a baseball field, and then inclusion is part of that for making sure that there are some designations that we are working on here in the city right now for inclusion. For example, the Alzheimer's and dementia, and I know that we're working on that. And then also we just finished having the city being also part of the autism.
Yes,
We're
that's
designated
true.
city for autism. So these are great examples of what we're doing to instill trust and making sure that not only we hear you, but we see you and we're going to do something about it. I just love that part. Well, the next question that I have for you is, how does the City of Chandler ensure that residents from all backgrounds are able to participate in a survey and provide feedback? How do you do that? When you said, how do you make sure you talk about the social media,
Yes.
right? But we heard also those who were not really on it. But for example, for you, if you wanted to get a good core of people to give you great feedback, how would you do that from your department?
Well, and we do various types of surveys. So we do project specific, which tend to be a little bit easier. But each year we do an annual satisfaction survey that we do it through multiple means. So the largest mean is through our database, and it is through email.
Yeah.
But that is segmented by groups, so we can identify first-time participants versus long-time participants, because they often have different experiences when someone knows a facility or doesn't. But we also do QR codes. We do text program. We have paper copies at the table, and those get used a lot. And then we do what's called intercept surveying, where we send out people to take physical surveys in the community at different events, because you really have to meet people where they are with surveying.
Yeah.
And it's quite a project, but we're finding that there are new ways to attract, and believe it or not, posters are in. Phone calls are in again. We still use the phone to call people and talk to people. So it's really no stone unturned. You want to try and do it at every level in the organization, but that kind of segmentation that we've been doing has really helped us understand the nuance between someone who's been coming to this center for 5 or 10 years versus someone who is a brand new resident. They need different things to be able to, and again, I come back to access. That's the first step. Getting them engaged and returning is usually easier. But getting someone to come that first time is really, it takes something.
Driving them. It seems like that's across the board. Would you say that the same thing?
Yeah, and I think specifically for our division, we kind of take that charge. We're under the city manager's office. So when I hear the budget survey is coming out, we get postcards and we're going to different communities. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we love doing. So we're going to different places of worship, to different nonprofits, to different community groups, and we're spreading the word that way as well. Like, go online and see, or if you can't, here's a way you can do it. And that's a specific charge that our office is proud to take on.
I love that. And for you with the budget, you always on it because that's where the money is.
That is so critical, yes. And just another thing to mention is we have expanded the number of languages that the survey's translated into. So besides just English, it's also Spanish and now Mandarin.
Yes.
We also have it on our website, access there and put out at all the city facilities. But that postcard has become kind of a new piece as well, that it kind of travels to different special events and reaching all different people. And Niki and her team help us with that.
Well, talking about language, that transitioned me to the next question, and I'm going to start with you because we have over 200 languages that we use with technology right now to be able to give access to people and getting them engaged with the city. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, we are very, very excited to put out, it'll be at 23 different city facilities starting in 2025. And so it is a instant language assistant translation device. And there are two kinds. One is a like a desktop device, and the other is a portable device we can put out in the field. This device translates 200 different languages, and including dialects.
Yes.
And then it also helps for people who have disabilities. So if someone cannot hear, it can do talk to text. If someone has an issue with colors can be changed on it. It can attach to a Braille keyboard.
I need to experience this.
Yes, so it is amazing.
I've seen it, but I've never played with it.
Yeah, so it's amazing. Like I said, it's going to 23 different city facilities in the January 2025. So we're very excited about that. And not only are we able to help real time, like immediately, our residents with their needs, but we're able to gather data, and that will inform our communication efforts in the future as well.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the fact that we are using so many different channels of communication. You took postcard, back old school, get on the phone and call somebody. We missing sometimes into those areas, that human touch element, bringing that to the place of this communication that we're talking here about in the city. So there's also news release. You talk about sending those emails and all. I mean, these methods, are they really being effective for us at this time? What do we
think
see?
they're only effective if the resident meets us. We'll go like 85, 90%, but we can't fill out the surveys, and we can't give the response. So we really are dependent on our residents to forward the information to their friends, fill out the forms themselves, because we do want to hear, and we do want to put their recommendations into play, into action if we can. But we have to hear them. And we have to have them
I say that
respond.
all the time. Even when I was running my own business, I tell people that I can only help you if you tell me what the needs are. And so for me, then, to even in the medical field, I can see it. If you don't tell me where it hurts, I can ask you all day long. But if you don't tell me, I can't address it, because I can look at you. You're looking at me like you're in pain, but where is the pain? So tell me. To that extent, I do not like to deal with people that are complainers, because complainers don't tell you what's wrong. They just complain about an issue, but if they come directly to what is it affecting them, you can change it and you can do something about it. And I think that's what this communication is doing for us here in the city of Chandler. I see a lot of people, I get a lot of email all the time from people who will say, hey, can you fix this? So that gave me something to go to your department, or your department, or your department. Then I know exactly who to target. So I love the idea that you mentioned the fact that we need you to participate into these surveys when we send them out, in order for us to be able to target what your needs are, so we can provide for that. So it's important. I love that. I love that. So what does social media at this time, what is the role and being transparent in that area? Because we know that we can't believe everything we hear on social media or see on social media. So how do we use that here in the city to make sure that it is truth, honesty, and integrity behind it? How do we do that? I'll start with you, because the money thing, it's a big deal.
Absolutely. So we have a great communications and public affairs office that does monitor our social media channels. And so if there's areas of confusion out there or comments that are made that we need to educate on, they're really, really good about reaching out to our departments and getting the right information and answering it within that question or comment on social media. It also makes our departments aware of where there's concerns out in the community. And we've learned so much through social media just by listening and really monitoring those channels. So I'm trying to think of a couple recently that came up. One was in utility billing, which is under the financial area. The utility billing area is constantly evolving as we get new technology. Sometimes there can be misinformation depending on, maybe they hear something that's happening in another city or something, and they think it's also going on in Chandler. And so it's just a great opportunity to kind of nip it in the bud when those things start, and we can get the correct information out there. We have an excellent group of professionals in our utility billing area. They're all bilingual, but they are also using the translation device. And so we have gotten I think so much better at communicating with our residents in that space, and they were in the pilot program, although many departments are getting, just so you're aware, they've already started kind of using it. So, but social media has really helped us serve our residents and businesses better, and learning where to target information and education as well.
And would you say that's the same for you?
Yeah, I say it's slightly different for the Center for the Arts because we're in the entertainment business.
Yes.
So we use social as a means of engagement, as a way to enhance like, what do you want to learn about this performance that's coming up? So education, yes, but like we love to do shout outs. So if we have a national touring artist that's coming through, we want them to get on our social and take it over and say, hey, come and see me live at the Chandler Center for the Arts. And that way we're networking with their social media following and building that profile and building that tourism drive to the center. So we really use the socials as an engagement tool. But I will say that there's a tremendous amount of back-end work on the social media side of answering questions.
That's
so
true.
on a night of show, it's like Facebook, Insta, Twitter, everybody is asking questions about, you know, what time and are there programs and can I bring my purse in? And so we have people who are constantly monitoring because those messages come in when someone doesn't necessarily want to, you know, they're driving, they can't pick up the phone and call the box office or wait. So it's a monitoring tool as well.
I see. Well, that's great to hear. I didn't realize there was so much in the background of
there
that.
is.
Specifically
It's
on a show,
Yeah.
on a night where you have a show. And so that means that you have employees that are really hands-on.
Oh, yes. We all
answering
have it on
instantly.
our phones, and people have different accesses that they can
Well,
answer, you know, different
That's
things
that red
to.
carpet kind of idea.
Well, you know, we're so fancy.
the City of Chandler, you know.
When you scan your ticket in at the center,
Yes.
we get a notification if it's someone who we're looking for.
Wow.
So, like, if I want to see someone who I haven't seen in a year, or someone who's a donor, or someone who is supposed to meet the artist and it's a special thing, we can actually
love that.
determine when you walk in
When
the
they're here.
building and then make sure we're out there to greet you and say
Whoa,
hello. So,
okay.
I mean,
Well,
it's
I
an
always-
imperfect world, but
I always thought
try.
that is because that I just walk in, that everybody sees me. But somebody's monitoring when I'm coming in.
Well, people do have to know what you look like, though. I will say, because we've had people say, you know, go find this person. It's like, well, you got to know. But when you walk in the door, everyone says, Councilmember Ellis is here.
This is amazing. I just love to be in that space. I think it creates such an environment of joy.
Yes,
when
that's
you
the
walk in,
idea.
there's so much joy there. You don't want to leave there sad. You know,
That's great. I love being in the joy business.
I love
it's,
it.
It's the best job around.
And I think for us, it's just making sure that people are following all of our
Yes.
social media
Yes.
accounts and they're following the correct ones. So
Yes.
that's really what our job is to direct people to the efforts that are occurring.
And I know with your department, it could be a little bit tricky because people don't know what to expect. A lot of time, I find myself always trying to explain what diversity and inclusion and everything is.
Right.
And so you find yourself in that space doing a lot of education. Talk to me a little bit about that.
We do, but honestly, a lot of what our job is to explain local government to different communities and the access points to local government. And I
Access
think people are
points.
surprised that, you know, we go into the different communities. That's where the diversity and the inclusion goes on. And that is inviting them because maybe they don't feel like they had a part and maybe they don't feel like they could respond.
Wow.
So our job is, no, you are. You're part of the city. We want to hear from you. Here's how you do it.
That's good. That's so
That's
good.
really good.
Yeah.
Because it's that the core of inclusion, and sometimes it's not even on our part as a city. It's the person themselves. They're feeling that, who am I? Do I really have a voice? And doing this really include them and tell them truly you do have a voice. And it's important that it's not only coming from us, the elected official, but it's coming from the department and those who work here in the
Right,
city.
I know, and Michelle, I'll kind of put you on the spot, but I know a couple years ago we had kind of conversations with people who lived in downtown or surrounding areas, never really been to the Center for the Arts.
Wow.
So they made an effort.
Yeah, so we did a study, a demographic analysis in 2018 was when we did the initial one, to really study where are people coming from when they come to the center. And we were really shocked that it was 80% were coming from outside of Chandler. So that's great for tourism. That's great for downtown destination driving.
yes.
But how are we impacting our actual residents and the people of Chandler? So we went through a deep 5-year process of zip code penetration, working on advancing
cool.
our
Yeah.
advancing our message
Yes.
in Chandler with Chandler residents, and we have switched that. Now it doesn't sound like a lot. It's now 75-25, but that 5% is huge. That's
Yeah.
a lot
Of
of
course,
people.
it's a lot.
And so it's really, how do we have the people who live right here and work here have the gem of this facility
Yeah.
right here?
Yeah.
We can't miss you.
That's
We
right.
want to make sure that we're reaching you too. So we've really adjusted our advertising strategies and just a
love it.
lot of things to make sure that it's Chandler first and tourism second.
I love it because
Very
one of
good.
our core values, right? It's live here, work here, and
Yeah.
play here. And so
You
this
don't need to
shows.
go to Phoenix. You can
No,
have it
this
here.
shows this that we've taken this at really good value. We put in a lot into it to make sure those things, when we say them, they mean something to someone. You know,
Right.
I just love that. Talk to me a little bit more about transparency now. It's evolving, right? Social media, everything it's happening. Well, how do we keep what we say relevant in the sense that people can trust what we say is going to be the truth? Because we've seen the shift in the last few years from COVID, from all these things when
Yeah.
we kept getting
Yeah.
conflicting information, whether it's from those who work under leadership or leadership themselves. We were not agreeing on certain things before we put them out. And I tell people all the time, I hate to look stupid. If you don't give me information, I can't put the right information out.
Yeah.
So how does your department keep us as elected officials relevant to be able to message something to our constituent that is transparent, that is really to the core of who we are here in Chandler? How does that work? I'm going to work with you again
Okay,
because the
I would
money
love
issue,
to. I'm like,
the
I'm
money
ready to talk here.
we want to keep going back to.
Yeah, well, and the money area, it's a technical area.
Yeah.
So I think making sure that our forecast is understood and that we are having that conversation with folks in as simplistic of a way as possible, because
that's
it
the
needs
point.
to be understandable. And you know, we put monthly reports out, budget to actual. We put quarterly reports out on our website, and a lot of different financial information out there. But it also needs to be able to be explained in a very simple manner that people understand where we are as a city.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of different financial topics that are part of state law processes we have to go through, and it's helping folks understand the why behind that. So there's a lot of different ways when those processes start that we really focus on the education side of it, so that there's that general understanding going in. A really good example of something happening, it's in process, is our bond election process.
It's coming up.
It's coming.
Yes.
Yes, it's coming up. But City of Chandler has done something really, really great over the last few bond elections, and that is we really draw in our community. And the mayor and council have actually created a resident bond exploratory committee that is made up of a lot of different residents. And when those residents are chosen, they're looked at to make sure that geographically they're from all areas of our city, that
like
our
that.
city is
Yeah.
reflected. The conversations going on in our bond election or our bond committee conversations are coming from all different areas of the city, North Chandler, north, south, east, west, and that they're coming from different diverse communities as well, that we have a voice for everyone. That is a goal of ours with that. And it has been a really positive process because we get such great feedback, and we're face to face having those conversations. They're touring facilities, they're going behind the scenes, they're understanding the need for certain
Yes.
capital projects
Yeah.
before the election happens. And then those folks actually become advocates in the community for us for a bond election. Our role as government, as a local government, is to educate. And of course, the projects we believe represent what our residents want, but it's another verification that is this truly the projects that need to move forward through an actual bond election. And it's proved to be a really positive
I
process
just
for
love
us.
the idea of the teacher, right?
Yes.
And then that way we continue to keep the right messaging out there. Transparency is is important.
It
So if we
certainly
started
is.
from the start with the right information and it goes down, then there is no confusion. In your department, it's important also to make sure that you have the right narrative for every project that you're doing, every time you engage. Transparency is very important because people want to trust what you say you're going to do. That's what you're going to do. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of great programs, and we really want to include all of our different members of our community. But really, a lot of times we are the messenger.
Yes.
And so it's important that we're connecting with our different departments and making sure that we're sharing and being that trusted voice.
Yes.
So for us, it's consistency. With us, it's making sure that we're reaching out. And that trust is important to us, our
Yes,
team. And so
yes.
we take that seriously.
To the point of the trust, I know that we are the only city, if not in the state of Arizona, but throughout some part of U.S., who have a strategic plan
Yes.
for our diversity office. Can you
Yes.
talk a little bit about what does that mean to have a strategic plan when you want to look across the whole city
Yeah.
to see how people are being looked at and taken care of?
Sure. What it means is that the city's investing long-term in this work.
Okay.
It means that we want everyone included in government, and kind of as Dawn mentioned, it means we want to hear from everyone and take your feedback and implement it. So I think us having a plan, having a vision, means that we're in it. We're in it for
For the long
term.
run.
Yeah.
And we are not afraid to tackle the hard conversations and sitting with people and say, well, if this is what you would like to see, how do we go about doing that? How can we get to your
Right.
yes? Well, we tell
Yeah.
you guys all the time as
Right.
directors, get to a yes when it comes to our desk.
Yes.
So then the idea of your department, wide open door policy.
Absolutely. We provide the opportunities if people want to utilize them,
Yep.
if they want to celebrate, if they want to be involved. If they don't, then that's okay too.
Yes, and that's fine. The only thing is that we don't want it to become an area of contention where they say, hey, they are not getting it, but when we have it. And that's why we do shows like this and bring you ladies to the table so that we can make sure that they know that there's access. It's wide open for everyone to be able to
Right.
do it. A phone call, an email, or just stop us wherever we are.
Yeah, that's why I love local government. I mean, look at all of these ladies here. We're asking for citizen input. We're asking for resident input,
Yes.
and it's the easily accessible government entity.
And don't always
if you want to
believe
be.
what you see in the news because come
Yeah.
to us, we'll give you the information, right? Get it from the horse's mouth. What about you?
I think and hearing your responses are at our highest level, which is our board of directors that
Yes.
oversee what we do at the center, is that we take every program that we do and it's vetted through a process through the board of directors. And that board is comprised of mayoral appointed citizens. And so they are of broad demographic, ethnic makeup, socioeconomic makeup. And so we really want that board to be reflective of the community.
Yes.
And so when you bring forward a programmatic idea or bring forward something that you want to take on, you're getting the perspective of how does this impact me in that
Yes.
area. And so it has us really do the deep thinking before we engage in programs.
That's
and
celebrated.
it's been a practice that's been in place for 35 years, and it's a great
love it.
practice because
Yes.
we don't assume things, and you learn so much from hearing, how does that impact our senior residents? How does that impact our youth
That's good.
council? How does that impact our African American audience or our Hispanic audience or our family programs? And we
love
want to
it.
know all of it
Yes.
because it shouldn't be like an independent decision. It should be a collective and collaborative decision.
Yeah.
And so I think that's at the
Love it.
heart of our organization. So I think it reflects in our programs.
Yes, it's the same thing when you explain about the bond, how we go out and bring the citizen and put them at the table. Same thing. I know that you take a lot of direction also from the group that you have with HRC.
Human Relations Commission. That's
Yes.
kind of like the
so the
the
same
arts
kind
board.
of commission.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
things. So all of that is telling us that we are not doing it alone, and we want the people in Chandler to be involved in it. And these
Yeah.
space are
And
open.
actually, there's a social media campaign, but also in person as well, to get diverse members for our boards and commissions.
Oh, right now?
Right
it's
now,
open?
we have how many?
Come
over
on, put
30?
a plug in, girl, for
Over
it.
30
Go
boards
ahead.
and commissions.
Come on, put a plug in for it. This is your perfect
And
time.
there's a lot of
I
openings
know
right now.
there are. I don't know what website it is. We're always looking.
It's
always
on the
Yeah,
website,
but you can
though.
always put in your application
Yes.
to serve. There's
Absolutely.
a time period that happens at various vacancy points or throughout the year.
Yeah.
But a citizen can be a part of it. We'd love to have a new citizen on our board of directors or on the Human Relations Commission or the Arts Commission, or there's
Parks-
so many.
Parks
Industrial
Board.
Development Authority.
Yes.
Industrial Development Authority.
Okay, for you, finance, right? Committee, you have zoning, you have all
Yes.
those things that report to. We want everyone to be involved and just reach out and go on the website and just ask questions. There'll be somebody right there answering it for you, I think. So this is such a great moment. I would not. I'm getting emotional about it. The reason why is because when I'm out there talking to people every single day and I see them and they see me, and when they ask me and they tell me what a great city that they live in, I know it didn't happen by itself. Right? People like you every single day, it's getting up and coming here and giving it 100%. This is what 100% looks like, okay? And I'm so grateful for it. I'm really thankful that you said yes to this Team Chandler, because to me, that's what it's all about. So we come into an end with this right now. We'll just give you guys a few minutes, each one of you, to say something to the people that you serve in your area, in your capacity here in the city. If you could please do that. Let's start with you, Miss Michelle.
Well, as the Chandler Center for the Arts celebrates its 35th anniversary season, I can't believe I've been there 26 of those years. It's hard to
so
imagine.
good. So
But as we're
good.
celebrating this, it is just a joy every day.
Yes.
It really is. It's hard work. And it's joyful work, and we're just so grateful for our patrons and our residents who come, because without the artist and without the patron, we have nothing to do.
That's right.
And so we're so grateful for our work every day.
Thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity to be here today.
Thank you for what you do. We really appreciate it. And it shows, right? It shows. It shows in the show.
It shows in the shows.
Well, I would just like to put a shout out to our employees, the folks that are, finance is one area, but there are many departments in the city.
Yes.
And customer service is just such a huge focus
Yes,
for
it is.
Chandler. And I think, government itself, I think, gets a bad rap, but many of our employees live in Chandler, and they take such pride in their community and the work that they do, because they have a heart of giving back.
Yes.
And there's so many of our employees that just that's what drives them. That's why they come to work every day and why they love what they do. And I'm one of them. I love what I do. And so,
those numbers, man, you love numbers.
but I also, now in my new role, I also help, we're resources to the departments out there. So when we hear feedback that there's, that they're having a hard time doing something, or helping get to yes for somebody, we help open those roadblocks in the city manager's office. And we work with our mayor and council in order to do that. And so there's been some great successes. There was folks that talked about even wanting to, all the street traffic going on out there, and really the barricade staying up too long. That was a recent conversation with our mayor and council.
And we fix it.
And you were able to fix it. Yeah, there's going to be some changes going on in the new year that will help minimize those blockages, I guess, to traffic. So that's a positive. But just speaking up, getting that message out there, our employees care a lot. And so I'm grateful to be part of Team Chandler, and I'm grateful to work with all the great people we work with. So, and
is good.
I appreciate you also having me on this show
thank
today.
you for saying
Thank you.
yes to it. I know it sometimes can get a little bit intimidating. It's not like Miss Michelle, who has 1,400
right.
people in front of her all day long, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I still get
On the
intimidated.
stage.
I know. I
Still
see
get
you out
nervous.
there. I see you out there flooring, doing all your things. So it's amazing. What about you, Miss Niki?
Oh, I know. I'm trying to top these two ladies.
You're doing amazing.
Such a topper.
I don't know. I just feel so lucky. I've only worked for one municipality, this one. And
35 years?
25.
25 years.
25,
Wow.
yeah. So I just feel like Chandler is the greatest. I feel like we have such a diverse population. I mean,
Yeah.
it's evident in the Census 2020 numbers.
Yeah.
And our community is diverse, our workforce cares.
Yes.
And I would not want to work anywhere else. I'm so
Love it.
We're
grateful to
lucky
be
to have
here.
you too.
And this is
Yeah,
what
we
I
are.
want to hear. I wouldn't want to work anywhere else, and I wouldn't want to be an elected official anywhere else but
Yeah.
this city. I've been here for 38 years myself, seen this city from what it was then to what it were, and I can envision what it's going to be. And with people like you at the realm of it, well, the best is such yet to come. I am so excited about the future for our city. Thank you so much for allowing me to have another 4 years to watch this thing from the background, to see it and flourishing. So whatever you see it's happening out there, there's great people at the realm of it making it happen every single day. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here
Thank
with
you,
me. I
Councilmember.
appreciate that. And you who are listening right now, may you take this information and turn it into something tangible that you can actually access and do the things that you need to do as a constituent. We need your part in it. We need you to participate, whether it's with the bond or showing up at one of our great shows over at the CCA, and also reach out to our diversity office and say, hey, I have a small group. I'm from another country. I'm here. I have a small team. I would love to see what can I do with you all to make this city the best that it can be. We need you at the table, and we're imploring you to come, join us, and let's keep making this city the best city ever for our children and our grandchildren in the future. God bless you all. Thank you for listening.